Hey, how's it going? Today we're going to talk about World War II again. His frequently quoted motto gives a clue to his attitude. Any officer who goes into action without his sword is improperly dressed. Jack Churchill also added bagpipes and a bow and arrow to his outfit for battle. Soon after Jack's birth were his younger brother, Thomas Bell Churchill. In 1910, the Churchills moved to British Hong Kong when Alec Churchill was appointed as Director of Public Works. He also served as a member of the Executive Council. Churchill was educated at King William's College on the Isle of Man. He graduated from the Royal Military College, Sandhurst, in 1926 and served in Beaumont with the Manchester Regiment. He enjoyed riding a motorcycle in Borough. Churchill left the army in 1936 and worked as a newspaper editor and also a male model in Kenya. Hot stuff. He used his archery and bagpipe talents to play a small role in the 1924 film The Thief of Baghdad, and also appeared in the 1938 film A Yank at Oxford. He took second place in the 1938 military piping competition. In 1939, he represented Great Britain at the World Archery Championships in Oslo, where he got 26th place. Not as good as one, but still in there. Churchill resumed his commission after Nazi Germany invaded Poland in September of 1939 and was assigned to the Manchester Regiment, which was sent to France in the British Expedition Force. In May of 1940, Churchill and some other men ambushed a German patrol near a French position. Churchill gave the signal to attack by raising the broadsword. A common story is that Churchill killed a German with a long bow in that action. However, Churchill later said that his bows had been crushed by a lorry earlier in the campaign. After fighting at Dunkirk, he volunteered for the commandos. On one occasion, to a general who had commented on his weaponry, Churchill is said to have replied, "Any officer who goes into action without a sword is improperly dressed." Jack's younger brother, Thomas, also served with and led a commando British during the war. After the war, Thomas wrote a book, Commando Crusade. That book details some of the brothers' experiences during the war. Their youngest brother, Robert, also known as Buster, served in the Royal Navy and was killed in action in 1942, unfortunately. Churchill was second in command of No. 3 Commando in Operation Archery, a raid on the German garrison in Norway on the 27th of December, 1941. As the ramps fell on the first landing craft, he leapt forward from his position playing March of the Cameron Men on his bagpipes, before throwing a grenade and charging into battle. In July 1943, as commanding officer, he led No. 2 Commando from their leading position in Sicily with his trademark Scottish broadsword slung around his waist, a longbow and arrows around his neck, and also his bagpipes under his arm. Leading 2 Commando, Churchill was ordered to capture a German observation post outside the town of Melania. With the help of a corporal, he infiltrated the town, captured the post, and took 42 prisoners, including a mortar squad. Churchill led the men and prisoners back down to the pass, with the wounded being carried on carts pushed by German prisoners. He commented that it was an image from the Napoleon Wars. He received the Distinguished Service Order for leading the action. Churchill later walked back to the town to retrieve his sword, which he had lost in hand-to-hand combat with the German soldiers. On his way there, he encountered a disoriented American patrol mistakenly walking towards enemy lines. When the NCO in command of the patrol refused to turn around, Churchill told him that he was going his own way and that he would not come back for a bloody third time. Very British of him. As part of a mission in 1944, he led the commandos into an area to support Joseph Broz Tito's. In May, he was ordered to raid the German-held island of Brock. He organized a motley crew of about 1,500 partitions and 43 commandos and 1 troop from 40 commandos from the other raid. The landing was unopposed, but as seen on the gun emplacements from which they later encountered German fire, the partitions decided to defer the attack until the following day. Churchill's bagpipes signaled the remaining commandos to battle. After being staffed by an RAF Spitfire, Churchill decided to withdraw for the night and to relaunch the attack the following morning. The following morning, a flanking attack was launched by 43 commandos, with Churchill leading the element from 40 commandos. The partitions remained at the landing area. Only Churchill and 6 others managed to reach the objective. A mortar shell killed or wounded everyone but Churchill, who was playing Will Ye No Come Back Again on his bagpipes as the Germans advanced. He was knocked unconscious by grenades and captured, believing that he might be related to Winston Churchill, which he was not. German military intelligence had Churchill flown to Berlin for interrogation. Afterwards, he was transferred to a special compound for POWs, including some actual suspected relatives of Winston Churchill, within the grounds of a concentration camp. In late April 1945, Churchill and about 140 other prominent concentration camp people were transferred to Tyrol and guarded by SS troops. A delegation of prisoners told senior German army officers that they feared that they would be executed. A German army unit commanded by Captain Avasham moved in to protect the prisoners. Outnumbered, the SS guards moved out and left the prisoners behind. Prisoners were released, and after the departure of the Germans, Churchill walked about 93 miles to Italy, where he met an American armored unit. As the Pacific War was still on, Churchill was sent to Burma, where some of the largest land battles against Japan was being fought. By the time Churchill reached India, Hiroshima and Nagasaki had been bombed and the war ended. Churchill was said to be unhappy with the sudden end of the war. He said, "If it wasn't for those damn Yanks, we could have kept the war going on for another 10 years. Certainly a broad-shouldered man." Churchill retired from the army in 1959. In retirement, he was still an amazing man. He startled train guards and passengers by throwing his briefcase out of the window each and every day that he rode on the train. He later explained that he was tossing his case into his own back garden so that he would not have to carry it from the station. He also enjoyed sailing coal-fired ships on the Thomas between Richmond and Oxford, as well as making radio-controlled model warships. Churchill died on March 8th of 1996 at 89 years old in the county of Surrey. Well, what do you think of this gentleman? Would you bring your own bagpipes and archery set to go into World War? Anyway, thanks for stopping by, and thanks for the likes and so forth. Hope the comments go fantastic today. Have a great one.